Hello and welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast, coming to you on Tuesday after a full 5 days of college football on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Now we're tackling a new week. It is week 2. We're going to do some cleanup on week 1 after Kayce extols the virtues of High Noon Hard Seltzer.
Extols the virtues of the best drink in the game, Ev. We know that week 1 is over, but not only that, Labor Day is over, which no matter how you feel about summer, it's over, fellas. It's over. It is moving into the fall. It's September, and it is time to get the hoodies out. It's time for the cool weather. It's time for all the fun things in the fall, and even though it's not hot out, the High Noon still hits, Ev. The High Noon, no matter what the weather is, but you can't tell me that a hoodie and a High Noon doesn't sound fantastic.
Kayce, my favorite thing other than a summer High Noon is a fall High Noon.
True.
That's what it is. It's a fall High Noon. It's fall now. It's September. It's football season. We've had college football, just a plethora of it. We have more this coming week, and do it with High Noon Hard Seltzer. The best.
Find High Noon at highnoonspirits.com. Obviously, you guys know where to find High Noon. It's everywhere. The new In Zone pack is the fall limited edition pack. There's all the different packs. And yeah, this weekend, speaking of drinking High Noon, Brandon, we will be in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Yeah, because that's the only place we can fucking go, apparently.
Well, it's going to be quite a scene because College Game Day will be there.
It's going to be quite a scene, Kayce, but it won't be the scene that you think it's going to be. It's going to be a straight-up molly-whopping when the Longhorns come to town.
I am not talking about the game itself.
I know you're not, but I am.
Why are you yelling?
I don't know.
The microphone got so hot just now.
Yeah, also pointed out a great point that I think we've done 97 live shows in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
No,
we're always there.
They could charge us rent. They could charge us rent for that house.
I mean, I sleep in that house. Like that's how we've gotten so comfortable doing that show. They're like, do you want to get a hotel? I'm like, no, I'm going to sleep on the second floor that I can see through the big house. Like I wake up and you can see all the way the other side. I do think that we've done one every single year that we've done a live show. I'm pretty sure.
We have.
We got other places we could go. That's all. There's other big games.
Are you a little worried at all?
About what?
About are you happy to play the heel that you're going to play when we get there?
I've walked into Iowa City. I'm going to walk into Oxford, Mississippi later this fall. I don't give a fuck.
I know you don't. But I do listen.
I'm tired of going there. It's a charmless city, a charmless state.
Also, to be completely honest, and it's not just us, I'm not just pumping us up. We've way outgrown that spot. We did that show in 2018 and it was too small.
Well, it's going to be one of those times where I think all of us are there. All 3 of us are there.
Yeah,
I think
that's what I was going to say. It's game day, Big Noon, and us. And I don't know where everybody else is, but I know we're obviously right outside. Last year when we were there, people in the big house on, all the way up the concourses were watching us. So I can only imagine it's going to be a scene. All that to be said, it's week 2 of college football, and we're going on the road for by far the biggest game of the weekend. This weekend kind of stinks. The slate kind of stinks. And after the 5 days of football that we had, it's going to kind of, it's going to feel like a lot less because we just had, even last night, the game wasn't supposed to be that exciting. Boy, was it.
Well, let's go ahead and finish off the games that have happened since we last left you, because since that has happened, we've had LSU and USC open the season in a barn burner, and we've had Florida State continue their downward trend, getting beat by Boston College. We'll start with LSU and USC. And I know I am a negative guy by trade, and I like to peddle in negativity, and I will do that. I'm going to shit on Brian Kelly and LSU fine in a minute. Big Ev, I worry that a lot of this, and Blutman too, actually, I worry that a lot of this is, once this game was over, it was all about Brian Kelly, and it was all about LSU losing their 5th straight opener. It should be about USC and Miller Moss winning a big game. It should be about USC coming from behind. It should be about them getting the ball in the 4th quarter, going right down the field and scoring a touchdown. Big Ev, I'm going to shit on LSU, and maybe you will too, but we got to give props to USC first.
No, listen, you could see the difference on defense. The tackling was the biggest thing for sure. They came to play. They made the adjustments they needed to make. And Miller Moss was clutch. Like I said, it was a weird first half. I actually thought, I was tweeting going nuts the way Lincoln Riley handled the end of the first half. I thought he just shit down his leg, not calling the timeout before the field goal, letting 40 seconds go off. then not calling timeouts again on the drive. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he thought he could take him to half. Or got Miller. I mean, I'll give Blutman his credit. He was talking about hyping up Miller Moss. He was phenomenal, especially in the second half. I mean, that throw he made to take the lead, not like the game winner, but the one was unbelievable. I mean, what a ball. And yeah, LSU. I really didn't think Nussmeier played that bad. I actually thought he played pretty well. I was very surprised at kind of the ricochet shot he took from Brian Kelly. That was probably the most staggering thing to me. I just didn't understand that at all.
Well, I mean, not to interject there, but Brian Kelly's a dipshit. Brian Kelly has always been a dipshit, and he always will be a dipshit. He is a good, solid football coach. He does not fit at LSU. He just doesn't. They can win 9 games a year. He doesn't fit. And when he started his press conference by saying, "Man, our guys got to figure out how to win these close games and openers." Well, no fucking shit, coach. Why don't you do that? Why don't you go out and figure it out for your guys? Because you're the guy who gets paid a bazillion dollars to do it. Blutman, I'll allow you. Did I just go dark?
No, you're good on our end.
Your mic sure is loud, at least to me.
I think she's softening my mic now.
Okay. Yeah. You are hot and heavy, buddy.
Yeah, she's softening it now, and it definitely softened in my eardrums. But Blutman, I'll allow you because nobody on this show was bigger on USC than you. Although Big Ev was big on them too, but nobody was bigger than you. Go ahead and enjoy your moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to enjoy the moment of her rival. Like, I've really put myself in a difficult situation here, but I think it was pretty evident that team just looked the part. Like, they look like a true playoff team that could win a game or two in the playoffs. They have I think we could all agree after 2 collegiate starts, Miller Moss looks like one of the premier players in the sport. He's 50 for 69, 750 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. The ball placement's immaculate. We've seen him lead a team in the fourth quarter down, do it like not a single nervous tick in his body. He is a professional. That team is really good. Their defense looked exactly like a Coach Lynn defense, right? They were aggressive. They were tactical. They they bend a bit, but they don't get broken. And that's the sign. Like, that's exactly what they need. And usually a Lynn defense will come up with the clutch turnover. They didn't really get that, but they got key stops. They were tackling short of the sticks all the time. I thought it was a tremendous effort in every way from USC. I think they could have played Deuce Robinson a little more. I think when we saw him play, you could just see it's a clear size advantage and size speed mismatch. You really can't defend them. I thought Lincoln Riley had shaky play calling and management, especially at the end of the half. He needs to put his trust in his team, throw the ball downfield. You can push the ball downfield against any team in this country, maybe except Georgia. Let them do that, and his team is in a very good situation.
Yeah, Kayce, I know I mess with you about kind of riding on Michigan's coattails every now and then and being a Deion fan, but people forget you're a gigantic Lincoln Riley and USC fan too.
I am, and it's amazing whenever I get the comments I do, like whenever I'm actually like upset about A&M, they're like, it's fine you root for Michigan, it's fine you root for Colorado. People forget, Brandon. The thing is, though, and I love this about Miller Moss, and I know obviously everybody's talking about it. He was on the halftime show last night of the Florida State-Boston College game. The coolest thing about Miller Moss, I mean, he's 22 years old, so he's not some young kid because he waited his turn at USC, and it was unfortunate for him that obviously Lincoln Riley comes in and brings Caleb Williams, who, the number 1 overall draft pick, who I think is still going to be an absolute elite quarterback in the NFL. But he sat and waited his turn. So many guys don't do that. Guys do not do that anymore with the transfer portal. And he could have easily said, all right, you know what? Fuck this. I'm going to go somewhere else. But he wanted to play for USC and he sat behind Caleb Williams. And now that is what we're going to, if people start doing that and are as good as him, you're going to be like, yeah, you waited your turn. You didn't just jump ship. And he's that talented. He just happened to have Caleb Williams ahead of him. That I love. And both sides, I couldn't have bet this over fast enough. I thought both defenses were going to look like absolute shit because both of the defenses looked like absolute shit last year. And the fact that we went into the second quarter with 0 points on the board, that to me was like, okay, the way that the transfer portal can now help beef up different units so quickly and so fast, like that, it was the tale of the game to me for USC. We've got a quarterback that waited his turn. He's as phenomenal as people say is. And by the way, Lincoln Riley actually did something on defense, at least through 1 week.
Now, that's all fun and games, and we get to give USC credit, and they're up to number 13 in the AP poll. Yay, good things. I really enjoy this new tradition of watching LSU fall on their face in week 1. I really, really enjoy it. And it's one thing for LSU to do it, but it's another thing for Brian Kelly. I don't mind LSU as a program. I think they're the most fun program in the country. They got the best stadium. They're a likable college football program. LSU is what college football is all about. You know, the passion they got, everything. But Brian Kelly is just an unlikable asshat. And anytime you get to see that piece of shit lose, it's just fantastic. And as soon as he loses, he throws the kids under the bus, which is not the worst thing he's ever done to a kid. But he's just absolutely – he's a shitty guy. I don't like him. I'm glad that he lost. That's all I have to say. Really, I think it was fantastic that Brian Kelly lost. And now I do think you're in a situation, because he is a good coach, and he'll probably win 9 games this year, maybe 8, maybe 10. He'll be in that range, and he's good enough to win that many games, but he doesn't fit at LSU, so every single time they lose, LSU fans are going to want to fire him. Big Ev, I don't know if you're like me, if you enjoy watching Brian Kelly lose as much as I do.
I mean, definitely bring him to the fact that he did kill a kid. I wanted to make sure everyone listening to this program knows that and doesn't forget it. I thought you articulated very well, because after visiting LSU a couple of times, I absolutely love it. It's probably my favorite college town to visit for football. Baton Rouge is incredible. I generally enjoy the people down there too. But I mean, he doesn't fit everything from the name to he goes up there, he does the accent when he gets hired.
Yeah,
I'll put it this way: when he was angry this weekend, there was no accent. Zero accent in this press conference. There was none. Banging the table. I'm just not big on it, and you touched on it before too, where he's like, these guys, they just don't, like you said, don't know how to finish games. They get complacent at the end of the game, and they're looking up at the scoreboard, and they see they're winning with 8 minutes left or whatever it is, and they are like, that's on you.
Yeah, coach them.
Your team to not be focused with 8 minutes left in the game that you're up 4 points. That's on you.
Coach their ass, man. Get after their ass and coach them.
Like it just made, and I know I mentioned it before, it really just rubbed me the wrong way when Nussmeier, who I thought played a damn good game and is a damn good quarterback. I could not believe that he's catching a ricochet shot in the press conference. I was like, how is, of anybody in your football team, why is Garrett Nussmeier catching the ricochet? That was just astonishing to me. I don't get it. I'll never get it.
To me, it was so performative too. Not that every coaching to a certain degree is performative, but it felt so fake and forced. Like everything else that he's done at LSU, you mentioned the accent, all the weird social media stuff, the banging his fist on the table. I don't even think he believed that in that moment. He wanted to throw a toddler fit. He wanted to have an absolute meltdown to I don't know what point he was trying to make, but it did the exact opposite, because I completely agree with what you both said. I think LSU is so cool. It is hard. In that game, I had USC. Then I decided I wanted to take LSU. And then I was like, but I don't want Brian Kelly to win. That should not be a problem for a team like that. The general populace is like, LSU's pretty cool, but your coach fucking stinks, and he's a child. And now he's trying to walk it back. He's trying to walk it back today. Dude, we saw what you said, and you acted like an idiot.
So just looking at the my voice will go out in this show because I haven't stopped. But looking at the schedule now at 1-0 after beating LSU, you really got to like what's coming up for USC. You got Utah State at home. Then you have at Michigan, which, that's obviously going to be tough. You got Wisconsin at home, at Minnesota, Penn State at home, at Maryland, Rutgers at home, at Washington, Nebraska at home, at UCLA, and Notre Dame at home. That's a manageable schedule. And they've already got – it wouldn't be their biggest win because, beating Michigan or Penn State would be way up there. But they got one of the bigger wins they're going to be able to get. USC now – I'm not calling them a playoff team, but they're a lot more realistic of a playoff team today than they were last Thursday. They put some hay in the barn early, and now LSU on the other side gets to go 0-1 and go home to a schedule that is not easy at all. I don't know. I said before the season Brian Kelly could be on the hot seat by the end of the year. I'm almost certain he will be on the hot seat by the end of the year now. And what a terrific turn of events. And one more thing about Garrett Nussmeier. I was watching him play and then realizing they only scored 20 points warps my brain. I don't know how that happened. He looked like he was delivering a 40-point game and they scored 20. Miller Moss, same way, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the over should have hit.
Well, so I thought, for him to call out Nussmeier is one thing. For him to do it after Nussmeier had shown so much growth and development from the limited playing time he's had to now, he used to really only throw 99-mile-an-hour heaters. Do you see the touch on Sunday? It was great. He improved so much. I thought he did such a good job of taking what the defense gives him and everything, and just sitting here again. We're talking about the same things with Brian Kelly.
Childish.
I like that. Good, Blutman.
Kyron Lacey also, where was he in the second half? Get him the ball. He's 23, 24 years old. He's older than everyone out there. His footwork's incredible. He carved USC in the first half. Where is he after that?
While we're doing Kyron Hudson is amazing. The catch he had in the first half, which if they had overturned that, I was about to say we have to get rid of college football instant replay.
You're going to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
I was just like, there should be plays that are so cool that they don't get to be looked at.
Yeah. It was so fucking cool.
And then he dropped the two easy ones.
Yeah, but then he made the catch at the end to basically seal the game. They would have kicked a field goal to win it, but they ended up scoring the touchdown.
Their
Anyway.
receiving core is loaded.
You said this when we were previewing this game. That catch was cool in it of itself, but such a fantastic jersey game, brand game,
beautiful
standalone Sunday night game. Which when we talked about what game could potentially go into 3 overtimes, and when I'm talking about that game, we almost saw it go into overtime. Everything about that game is exactly what we wanted. Unless you're an LSU fan, obviously you wanted to win, but that was a beautiful Sunday night Labor Day standalone game from start to finish.
You want to do some business before we get to Florida State and the absolute reaming I'm going to give them?
Why wouldn't I, Brandon? So if you missed it last week, our friends at DraftKings have an unnecessary roughness parlay. So every single week we will have an unnecessary roughness parlay. We have a Barstool college football parlay as well. And then obviously all the different things that you can go place bets on. And if you are a new customer, so if you are listening right now and you're a new customer and you're like, you know what? I don't know. I kind of want to get into this game. You can download the app and you can put in just $5. Just bet $5 on anything and you get $250 in bonus bets instantly. The NFL is starting. One of the big things that DraftKings loves is the anytime touchdown score. Ev, I know you're usually pretty damn good at touchdown scores. We have a whole contest going on at Barstool right now. So DraftKings, it's going to be the biggest season yet with them, Ev, and I know you're excited for the NFL to start.
Very excited. I mean, you got Thursday. They got a bunch of bet and gets. If you bet it, it's basically you get up to a certain amount back if you lose. I mean, I think it's for Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday night. Love the touchdown. Touchdown scores are, especially in the prime time, they're just electric.
Yeah, and
maybe
they're also
maybe a little Derrick Henry, maybe a little Zay Flowers this Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
You also know that people that don't for example, Kelly Keegs, who's not a big gambler, she's going to get into the mix now with this new Barstool thing because it's betting a touchdown score. You're really just wanting one guy to get in the end zone. So it's not a difficult, needing to figure out all the different odds. So that's why they're really pushing this for new customers as an easy way to get in with DraftKings. Again, new DraftKings customers can bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets instantly, plus 1 month of NFL Plus Premium on us. So download it. Use the code ROUGH for new customers, ROUGH, ROUGH, and then bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Premium. And the offer ends soon, guys. September 19th. That's coming up. So make sure you get it in. Thanks to DraftKings.
All right, Monday night, we saw the continued destruction of the Florida State University football program. Imagine going through what they went through last year when the committee screwed them. They get beat by Georgia 63-3, and then they have an entire offseason to stew. And they got screwed, but at least the new year is going to start, and at least we get to beat the shit out of Georgia Tech and Boston College to start the year 2-0 in the ACC. And you get to the end of week 1, and you have 2 losses. You know how depressing that is to have 2 losses at the end of week 1? They're way ahead of everybody else.
And in standalone games, too. It is not talked about enough that the entire college football world watched both of those because it was the first game of week 0 and the last game of week 1 on Labor Day. That is just down bad luck.
Georgia Tech, I understand. Georgia Tech has a great offensive line, and they want to beat you up front. They want to beat you up. They want to gut you. Boston College, I know Castellanos can run, and I know they got some good new running backs, but this isn't typically their identity. It isn't typically – they're not typically a team you think is going to beat you up. But the fact that where are Florida State's testicles? Where are their balls? Where is their manhood? They're just letting two middle-of-the-pack ACC teams in Georgia Tech and Boston College gut them from the middle, just run straight up their fucking face. Marshawn Lynch said it best. Run through a motherfucker's face. If you want to see that, watch the tape of Florida State playing football this year. Big Ev, where is the backbone on this team?
They don't have any, Brennan. They're soft.
They're soft as hell.
Football team. I don't think I've ever seen a team 2 weeks in a row get just bludgeoned like this, and not hit for like big plays and stuff like that. Just get constantly just smacked in the mouth over and over. 4 yards, 4 yards, 4 yards. I mean, the way that the time of possession has been controlled against them, back to back, 0 adjustments from week 0 to week 1, 0.
Big Ev, I have never.
You argue maybe got bludgeoned worse.
Have you ever seen a team get 14 minutes of possession in the first quarter? Like, that was unbelievable. They came out the gate doing it.
They had the ball for
0 answer.
At home.
Yeah, you're
At home.
People are thinking right now like Bill O'Brien invented the wheel.
Big Ev.
And I don't think Bill O'Brien's a bad coach or anything, but the praise he is getting, I was like, Florida State is just an embarrassment.
I think the most embarrassing part was Boston College is easily driving for 7 more at the end of the game. And then, we'll just take knees for 2 minutes. We're not going to make this worse for you guys.
And listen,
mercy.
I know it's fashionable and it's correct to shit on DJ. He's just not a good college football quarterback. He's not good. But I think they could have anybody at quarterback. It's not going to matter. The way they're getting emasculated at the line of scrimmage, and by the way, DJ sucked. He missed a lot of throws, but when he did make throws, their tight end's the worst player I've ever seen in college football. I've never seen a tight end miss this many. They're supposed to be your sure-handed guys. He can't catch. He can't do anything. To say they suck because of DJ is wrong. They suck. DJ also sucks, Kayce.
Yeah, no, it's an easy go-to because DJ going from Clemson and then going to Oregon State, and it's like, okay, he just clearly is not going to work out. It's always easy to blame him. But if you actually watch that game, like, there's not much he could have done if the defense was going to continue to look like absolute shit against Boston College, too. Like, we're not talking about they were out there against Miami or Clemson or somebody like, and again, I don't want to like take, all credit away from Boston College and like maybe Bill O'Brien's the guy for them. I'm not sure, but the whole team is just ass from start to finish. It's not just DJ's fault. It is. And like the meme that goes viral, like ass, Florida State is the definition of the ass meme on the internet. Point blank, period. They're so bad. Florida State fans spent all offseason, and again, I'm as somebody who truly does believe that they deserve to be in the playoff last year. It would have been asked then too, but I believed it. They spent all offseason talking all this big game of, we're going to come in and prove ourselves. We're filing lawsuits, doing all these things. But you come in and you lose 2 games in week 1 and you look like complete dog shit doing it. Like, that has to be the worst feeling. I know the main account tweeted it. Did you guys see like the spaces last night where like Florida State fans were like, they got it right. They should have left us out of the fucking playoffs. Like,
yeah,
that's how down bad they are.
I mean, you give a batshit crazy fan base an 0-2 start against Boston College and Georgia Tech. Let's sit back and watch the fireworks go.
That clip, they were like, who's a dog? Deion Sanders. He's like, I'm not a fan. I'm like, Deion hasn't won dick either. Like, it's like, I understand he played for Florida State, but they're like, go get Lane Kiffin. Like, they're doing anything they can right now just to like get Mike Norvell out.
Now, I don't like giving out the shit without a little bit of praise because Castellanos is a dude. I like him. I like his toughness. He's a lot like, I think he's just like Diego Pavia at Vanderbilt. He's not going to go out there and pretend he's going to beat you 40 yards down the field, but he's going to move the first down chains. He's going to run for tough yards, and he's going to make the right decisions with the read option. I like him. I don't know. This is another, you got to throw them on the pile with Georgia Tech. I don't know how good Boston College or Georgia Tech are. And Florida State might just be terrible. I mean, like, not even, I'm not talking like, 7-5 terrible. I'm talking like, I don't know if they're going to a bowl game terrible.
No, they're that bad. I mean, Boston College's schedule is like, when you look at their schedule, so they have Duquesne at Missouri. So
they'll lose that one.
Michigan State, Western Kentucky, Virginia Tech, Louisville, Syracuse, SMU, North Carolina, Pittsburgh. That's not an easy schedule, but it's not a horrible one either.
Well, here's the thing about the ACC. I believe we think Miami's really fucking good.
Yes.
The rest of them are either terrible or just haven't shown. Like you could tell me the rest of it ends up in any order, and I think I would believe you. Like Florida State, they looked terrible 2 games in. Georgia Tech looked okay in their second game. NC State didn't look great. Virginia Tech didn't look good at all. Louisville just kind of sitting there looking pretty good to compete in the ACC. But as far as schedules in the ACC, I have no idea because I don't know who's good. I know Miami's good.
Yeah, they're very good.
I had a line last week that I was prepared to say about Florida State that was just with their offense and everything and how Norvell's calling things, airing the ball, trying to air the ball out, not run the ball. That team's not poised to win a Gasparilla Bowl. That team ain't poised to even make a Gasparilla Bowl. And then you just look at the box score, look at the carries and look at the distribution and the lack thereof.
8 carries.
And sure, the other teams are stacking the box and trying to take the game away. Okay, is there not an ounce of creativity on that coaching staff to try and figure out a solution to a simple answer? Get the ball in the perimeter. They won't do it again. Jalen Lucas, we said it last week, he didn't get the ball again after his first 2 touches. He turns in 17 yards per, and it's just they're a joke on defense. How many times was the naked wheel route wide open?
Wide open. They didn't even hit it the first time.
Correct, and they missed it another time, I believe.
I mean, it's like what Ev said. It literally feels like Bill O'Brien invented the wheel. Like that, the way that the internet was reacting to it. Oh,
invented the wheel. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know if you meant to do it that way, but that was like pun intended because, it was truly just like they knew what was coming. I don't know. If you're a Florida State fan, you've got to be obviously down bad, horrendous. I just don't know, even if they start to get creative, I just don't know how they fix it because they spend all this money, I assume, in the transfer portal to go get DJ. DJ's just not the guy. He's just not. Like, he's not going to be a good college quarterback.
Yeah, and the issue is what Brandon said. It doesn't really matter who's back there at quarterback unless they're a true elite game changer that could completely change the outcome of a game. It doesn't matter who's there. If they go and people are calling for Brock Glenn, if they go and do that, the product's going to be 15 times worse. Ain't nothing changing. If they went out there and got a decent quarterback that's a little better than DJ in the portal, nothing is changing. This team is so bad. It's one of the truly one of the least impressive teams I think I have ever seen. You look at every single position group and there's not one thing that you're like, hey, kind of good. Is there a single future professional football player on this team right now? Genuinely asking, because there were 4 guys on the defensive line that we were led to believe were legit. And it's not just me that was talking them up. And yes, I was wrong. I apologize. Very wrong. I'm an idiot for it. NFL was talking about them. There were front offices banging their fists on the table like these guys are legit. They're all terrible.
Yeah, when you texted the group text and you were like, this is the worst football team I've ever watched playing other than the Citadel, I laughed very hard. That was a very Liam tweet.
All right, and I bet Boston College right after because of it 0-0.
All right, Kayce, who's the go ahead, Big Al.
How bad does this season have to get, or is it even possible for Norvell to get canned?
I don't think it's possible.
Is there is 4-8 is how bad?
I mean, he went 13-0 last year. I think he gets I think 4-8, even 3-9. I think he gets a do-over. I think he gets a fix. I think he gets obviously this team isn't doing much this year, but I don't think. Listen, there's another team in the state that panic fired a guy 3 years ago, and where are they? So
all the internet, like the memes and the things where it's like Florida and Florida State are going to be aired on Nickelodeon at 9 a.m. Like, I was dying at all of it.
Yeah, if you're a Miami fan who's waded through 5 or 6 years of crap, you got to be like the LeBron meme right now. Like, I can't believe this is my life. Yeah. You got all of a sudden, God has shined on you a quarterback and all these players, and Florida sucks and Florida State sucks. Like, oh my God, anything's possible down there in Miami.
The meme that always goes viral anytime something like this happens, it's like the 2 girls that are on the ground fighting, and it's like the guy that's like laying on his stomach filming it, like it's Miami behind him right now, like acting like he's sleeping. Brandon, I have a question for you because we talked about the fans wanting Brock last night. Is this because I'm a parent now, or is it just because I'm getting soft? I hate whenever the entire crowd starts chanting like "We want Brock" or whatever. Like,
yeah, well, crowds are stupid. And number 2 is okay. You want Brock? Does he play middle linebacker? Does he play defensive tackle? Does he play?
It makes me feel sad for DJ. Like, I think I might just be a soft ass now. Like,
I feel
was like,
bad for DJ.
Okay, so I'm not like I was
feel
like,
bad for DJ. I feel bad for his dad. Like his dad's tweeting about their other son who plays at Oregon, Mateo, getting baptized, and you look at their replies, and they're all just tearing them apart.
No.
Like they're saying so much. It's so wrong.
The internet is so mean.
He played too good in that game against Notre Dame.
Yeah, he really did.
If he just didn't have that game, he was a first-round draft pick in that game.
He was also the number 2 quarterback prospect. I believe the year he came out, was he sandwiched between C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young?
Yes.
Or something?
Brandon, when he was a sophomore, the starting quarterback on his high school team was the feature of a Netflix documentary, and he took his job.
That's right.
Like the guy ahead of him, he went to Iowa State. I think he had him go to Temple after. But he literally, the documentary was about the starter. Yes, about the starter. And he just took the kid's job on Netflix as a sophomore. And then it was just the rest is history.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Coming up. Go ahead.
I would like to dub this Florida State team, by the way, as a must-watch every week.
I'm going to go ahead and pass on that one, brother.
I don't know.
It is that entertaining.
It's so bad you can't turn away. And again, like shit luck for them that both of these awful games have been standalone games. Because like it would have been bad enough if like the game last night was like, you know, amidst all the games on Saturday. And it's like, okay, they lost again. They're trash. Like, no. We got to see it up close and personal again.
All right, Kayce, let's do some business. And then after that, we're gonna start a couple of new segments and see if they catch. We'll go around the horn. Who's down bad the most? Who's down the most bad? I don't know how to say it. Who's down
the bad?
Who's the most down bad?
You down bad?
I think that's it.
Who's the most down bad, and who's the most up? Who's the highest up? So we'll do most down bad, and then who's the highest. I don't know how to say the second one either.
Say who's up?
Who's up?
Yeah. Okay, most down bad and who's up after this business, Kayce.
So something that's never down bad, Brandon, is good hair. And you know it, and I know it. Liam knows it, and Ev knows good beards, you know? Ev's got a phenomenal beard, and our friends at Nutrafol, they are such good things for just up good hair. I don't know we're gonna have to workshop this, okay?
Yeah, we gotta figure it out.
We gotta workshop it. So Nutrafol came into my life whenever obviously they started sponsoring this podcast, but also after I had my son and I was dealing with all the post-pregnancy, postpartum hair situation, but they have something for everybody. So no matter who you are, what you're dealing with, if you just want healthier, nicer hair and you want to achieve that hair growth, Nutrafol is for you. And it really is like one of those products that I love to stand behind because not only is it good for your hair and it keeps your hair healthy, it's also good for your entire body. It's a full body vitamin. It's very easy. So if your hair is thinning, if you have just had a baby, if you're getting older, if you wear hats a lot, that's another thing that Nutrafol helps with. It helps that shedding. So Nutrafol is very, very important to me. I've got this long, luscious hair back thanks to Nutrafol. So take the first step towards your hair growth goals. And Brandon, I mean, look at that hair you've got. Look at that hair.
Yeah.
People forget what your hair looked like before that hair.
Yeah, well, you remind them every fucking week.
Well, that's a good thing.
Well, it's a good-looking head of hair, but you ain't got to put me on blast every single week,
I don't put
Kayce.
you on blast every single week. But you do look phenomenal. Look at that hair. Look at him run his. If you're watching on,
it is looking good today.
Yeah, it's always looking so good. So Nutrafol right now for a limited time is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men and enter the promo code UR. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists, like Brandon's phenomenal stylist that he has, recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com/men. That's Nutrafol.com/men. Promo code UR. That's Nutrafol.com. Promo code UR.
All right, so we'll go around the room, and this can mean whatever you want it to mean. It can mean a player, a coach, a fan base, a team, just whatever, however you want to take it. I need to know who's the most down bad, and we'll have Big Ev batting leadoff here. Big Ev, who's the most down bad?
And there's quite a bit. I would have to say, I'll go Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's pretty down bad right now because I think there's nothing worse than coming into a season having all this hope in the world. You bring back 18, 19 starters. You have this great end to the season. You have this great quarterback, this and that. You don't even get into the conference. Yeah, but you have what's supposed to be a cupcake game on the road versus Vanderbilt. 2 touchdown favorites. You go in there and lay an absolute egg. You lose wire to wire. You even make a big comeback at the end, then you lose in overtime. Virginia, I don't know what you – because losing to Vanderbilt is not a loss that I believe you can come back from. I don't know how you – in terms of if they want to make the playoff. Obviously, the ACCs, they're 0-0 in the ACC. But in terms of being a real playoff team, which I think a lot of people thought they were, to have your season basically just get taken from you like that week 1 at Vanderbilt, they're down pretty bad.
Yeah, they are down bad, and you're right. Listen, let's just be honest. You come into the new season and you lose to NC State, or you lose to Iowa State, or you lose to, I don't know, Oregon or State. Or just I throw any name out there. The Vanderbilt name has such a stigma. You spent 8 months building up to this season knowing you opened at Vanderbilt and you were going to kill them, and when that goes away, that's a down bad that is hard to recover from, man. That's pretty tough. Kayce, who's the most down bad?
I'm going to say Brian Kelly. I know we've talked a lot about it, but the fact that this man, I mean, he had them in the SEC West hunt. He has since he's been there, really. They've never fallen off, and they hate him so much, and he is so unlikable. Do you know how bad of a person, like personality, you have to be hated when you're still winning 9 or 10 games? And the fact that he cannot win a season opener, he cannot do it. He's throwing toddler tantrums better than my 18-month-old does. He's slamming his fist around and then feels like he has to apologize. And to add on to that, we do it every time too. Every time we talk about this man, we have to remind everybody that he killed a kid. Like, you can't be down worse than that. Like, you are so bad as a human being that we have to remind everyone that you actually killed a kid once. Down bad. Brian Kelly. LSU, you guys all said it. LSU is so cool, has everything in the world going for it as like the cool culture program. He just doesn't fit it. And LSU fans are already turning on this man. Brian Kelly is down bad.
Liam Blutman, who's the most down bad?
Yeah, so let me set the table for you here. You just got married. You just got engaged, rather. You just got engaged.
Okay.
And you're watching your team play, and they have a rough first game, and then you tweet out, "Well, hey, if we lose to Boston College this weekend, I'll eat some dog poop out of a red Solo cup with a spoon and post the video of me doing it." Yeah, and then the game starts, and it's a Monday night, and everyone's watching, and your team looks really bad again, and you're losing. The Boston College scores a touchdown, and it's the first half, and this tweet starts to gain traction. And there's a lot of traction. Any account that tweeted anything about this got hundreds of thousands of retweets, and we all know that you need to do it. And then you deactivate your account. But then our good friend Jack Mack goes and finds your Facebook and your Instagram, and then even texts you. Everyone in this world, there is a manhunt to find this guy to do what he said he would do. He's the most down bad. 3, 2, 1, Noel. You're a bad person. You're a genuinely bad person.
First of all, it makes me kind of ashamed to be part of an internet that is just ruining this guy's life. Because he said a stupid thing to back up him being confident in his team. That being said, he is the one who said it. Like, he brought it up. I just know this, and I'll say this in front of God and everybody. I wouldn't wish this upon my worst enemy, having Jack Mack on the case. Because that motherfucker is a dog. I mean, a DAWG dog. If you say something on the college football internet and it piques his interest and it gets him going, you're done. You are done. Jack Mack is undefeated. Man used to be on this show. I will never, if I ever get to a point where I do something on the internet and Jack Mack gets a hold of it, I will quit right there. I'll just say, here's my laptop. Here's whatever. He wins. Jack Mack is on the case, and that motherfucker is relentless. And I mean, here's the thing. That's how he's become like the TikTok god that he has been. The fact that, like,
investigative journalist can't get people's numbers as fast as Jack Mack did. This man had this man's number already. And I agree with you, Brandon. Maybe this makes me soft. Maybe it makes me a parent. I don't know.
Why are we ruining this guy's life?
We're like ruining this man's life. And here's the thing. Didn't like John Rich say he'd cut his head off last year if Michigan won the national title? No one's like saying, hey, you got to do this, but we're going to ask this man to eat dog shit. I can't. And don't ever cross Jack Mack. And then obviously Scott Van Pelt doubling down on it, Dan doubling down on it. This poor guy, and his fiance is like, why the fuck did you do this? Because for the rest of his life, he's going to be the dog shit guy.
I hope the wife doesn't have a clue.
Oh, she's going to have a clue because they're going to
know.
Jack probably called her already.
Blutman, they're going to find the wedding. The internet people will find the wedding. They'll find the registry. They'll find all of it. They'll send him dog shit till the day he dies.
I hope she doesn't find out till that moment.
I want to say we talked about this in a Pick Central. I think a great full circle idea. This part was my idea. He needs to sell this thing. He needs to tweet sometime this afternoon, like, hey, I'm going live from this account Friday night, like 6 p.m.
Yeah,
you sell this. You can put this thing behind a paywall.
Pay-per-view.
You can put this thing on a, you could sell ads on it. Dude wipes. I mean, like, if there's a dog, like a kitty litter dog, if there's an equivalent, something like dog, whatever. I don't know what something dog products, picker. Picker upper, something.
Maybe something for a stomach ache because this man's going to get sick.
But what you do is, and this was the other half of the idea, which I think it was Marty said it was a great idea. After everything that Kirk Herbstreit did last year with Florida State, he should eat Kirk Herbstreit's dog shit.
Oh.
That is full circle. You want to make this motherfucker full circle? He should eat a piece of Kirk Herbstreit's dog shit. That's what he should do.
Oh my god!
That is so gross.
He's got to eat someone's dog shit.
This is another thing. And like,
why not Kirk Herbstreit's dog?
Listen, Ben,
on the broadcast.
And Ben, Kirk was clapping back at people yesterday. People that and Jack, our friend Jack, doing it.
Jack was on that too.
Like, fuck that. Like, Ben can be wherever he wants. But here's the thing, and this I absolutely like. There are very few things that I'm like, okay, I'm grossed out. Look where I work. The fact that all these grown-ass men that I work with are begging another grown-ass man to eat dog shit is finally where I draw the line. I'm like, no. Like, when I logged onto my Twitter this morning, I literally texted one of my girlfriends who's also a big football fan and was like, am I crazy? I can't picture this man actually eating dog shit because I don't want this man to eat dog shit.
But he said it first. He said it first. That's why I don't feel bad.
He doesn't have to do it.
He said it first. No one put a gun to his head and said, hey, tweet out that I'll eat dog shit if we lose this game. No one.
This is the male version of the Hawk Tuah girl. It's the Hawk Tuah girl says one thing about spitting on it, and she gets famous. Now, if dog shit guy leans into it, he's going to be famous too. It's going to be the male version of spitting on a dick is eating dog shit.
He's not smart enough to lean into
our
it.
brains. But you know what the difference is, Brandon? That all the guys loved Hawk Tuah girl because they were like, oh my God, there's not a female out there, I would assume, that is like, God, it would be sexy if that guy ate a red Solo cup full of shit.
He was so specific about it too.
Yeah, with a spoon and the spoon.
Yeah, on video. Like he said he said everything. He could have said, you know what, if Florida State loses, I'll eat shit. Because that's like a metaphor, that's like a saying people's. No, he said, what I'll do is I'll go get a red Solo cup. I will fill that Solo cup with dog shit. I will take a spoon, I will dip it in there, and I will video the whole thing. Like, he didn't leave anything to the imagination.
That's why I don't feel bad. That is exactly why I do not feel bad. He tweeted out detail for detail what he would do, and then he didn't do it.
What's he going to do if they lose to Charleston Southern?
Oh my God.
I tried to put myself in his. If I'm his fiance, I'm like, can you please, for the love of God, log off? Please. Like, and you say you don't think she knows. Of course she knows, because every one of his buddies knows, which means every one of his buddies, girlfriends, wives, friends, they're all asking her, is he going to be allowed to eat the shit? What are you going to do? Like, is he going to get back on Instagram? Like, she's sitting there, she's catching it worse than anybody. She's like, this is the man I got to say my vows to with shit breath.
I will. The best thing that he could do actually is completely stay deactivated, and then right before the Charleston Southern game, say, if we lose, this is what I'm going to do if we lose to Charleston Southern. That's his best move. Be funny.
I don't know if the segment can go on. There's nobody more down bad than that guy. That's the most down bad guy that you're ever going to find.
What's your answer?
So mine is I was going to combine Florida and Florida State. Listen, they both lost in different ways, but the truth is Florida lost to a rival. They lost to Miami, which means Miami is now trending back up, which means it puts Miami on top of the state. Florida loses at home. Florida knows they have the worst coach in the country. They had 8 months of hope. We hope it's better. We hope the roster is good. We hope Billy Napier's learned some things. And in about 10 minutes, you knew that hope was all gone. They have zero hope. That program is dead. It's deader than dead. Miami is now feeding off the carcass of Florida football. And Florida State fans can't enjoy that because their carcass is rotting too over there. They got too sad last year when they got screwed. They laid down. They quit. And they haven't picked it back up. They're 0-2, losing to two also-rans in the ACC. So Miami's just up there living the life. They're toasting champagne, Cam Ward and everything. Meanwhile, Florida and Florida State are deader than dead. They're the most down bad. Anything in the state of Florida north of West Palm Beach is down bad.
You know what? You just raised a really good point too, because we always say, what's better, your team winning or your rival losing and being embarrassing? How bad would it be when both, you can't celebrate shit on either side? It's you're so bad and your rival is so bad that neither one can really talk. It's like the Office, right? Where it's they're just all finger guns pointed at each other, and yeah, that would stink. And trust me, as somebody that has a very hated in-state rival, they're dancing all over my grave. So I understand that feeling.
Let's do who we got next.
Brandon, we have got Bowl and Branch, and I
got the sheets. I got my wife some Bowl and Branch sheets and a waffle. I don't know what you call it. Waffle blanket.
Well.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the waffle blanket is the newest thing that I got. I got the king sized one. It is so comfortable, and it's also the thing that I love about Bowl and Branch too is amongst all the things, it's 100% organic cotton. It's the highest thread count you can possibly have. All the different things we love. But it's also it keeps you warm without making you super hot. That's the worst when you get into sheets or blankets, or they also have pajamas and robes and the whole thing. It keeps you cool while also keeping you warm. And everybody out there knows what I'm talking about. You don't want to sweat in bed. You want a good, comfortable, luxury cotton. And Ev, I know you got some. Brandon, you got some. Liam, have you gotten any yet? Because if you haven't, you need to.
I have not, but I plan on it.
Liam, I hope this doesn't sound rude, but you don't really strike me as the guy that loves great sheets or has great sheets. Do you?
What? I got great sheets.
Now you do, because you got Bowl and Branch. There you go.
You got greater sheets.
So when I was in Washington, D.C. for the sales conference, I was telling them how much I love, and Ev, I know I've talked to you about these too. I love their pajamas and their pajama shorts. They sent me a whole new set for the college football season. They're so thoughtful because they know that their product is the best out there. And right now, you can get some money off. And they also, by the way, parents that are listening, they also have crib sheets. My 18-month-old son sleeps like a king on their crib sheets. I love it. And I know that it's going to be the perfect foundation for him with better sleep. So they're loved by millions of sleepers. And right now they're giving you a 30-night worry-free guarantee, which is they always do that. And you're going to get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bowlandbranch.com with promo code ROUGH, ROUGH. That's Bowl and Branch, BOLLAND branch.com, promo code ROUGH for 15% off and free shipping. Exclusions apply. See site for details. Start getting the best sleep this fall with Bowl and Branch. And by the way, gift giving season, this is the best gift. It comes wrapped. It comes with a gorgeous bow. Comes with everything. Get your gifts at Bowl and Branch.
Kayce, I'll start with you. Who's up?
Well, this one's going to hit really close to home for me, and I think that it's a fair answer across the board, but it's Notre Dame fans, okay? It's Notre Dame fans because they are really feeling themselves, and for good reason. The the viral clip right now that's gone is, Marcus Freeman walking out of the tunnel, the visitors tunnel at Kyle Field, and how poised he looked. And regardless of how you feel about A&M, like Kyle Field, 107,000 people, loud at night, they're playing power. Like that's going to be an intimidating place to play. And he came out with just the absolute confidence in his team in a primetime game. And Notre Dame fans are not just noticing that, they're noticing that the entire world, that other than Notre Dame fans were like, well, I don't know. They've got a tough schedule. Like they are. And granted, listen, I'm not saying that A&M is some phenomenal football team because we know they're not, especially on offense. But the way that they handled their business, Notre Dame fans are up. In fact, our friend Shane Gillis has sent me in all caps, ha, 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 every single day, multiple times since the game, and said, how about you consider shutting the fuck up about Notre Dame? That's how you know when your friends are texting you to shut the fuck up about teams, they're up. They are all up. They're excited. And honestly, they should be. Like they absolutely should be with that win. They love Marcus Freeman. Riley Leonard looked great. And they have a very easy schedule. They're favored in every single game moving forward. Like the playoff being 12 teams is basically now in week 2, we know that they're going to be in it. So Notre Dame is up.
Big Ev, who's up?
I think me making these picks is going to show my lack of bias. So they're going to be a rival as this season. I think it's Penn State, and specifically Drew Aller draft stock is up. Penn State, they looked incredible, and I really thought Drew Aller was, as much as their defense looked awesome and played really well against what I still think is a pretty solid West Virginia team, Drew Aller had that thing on a string a few times. I mean, he made some throws that he looked like a first-round pick. And if he's the guy, he had a performance that I think makes Penn State fans truly believe that they can get over the hump this year, that they cannot be that 8th to 10th team that just lost to Ohio State and Michigan or lost to whoever, that they really believe that they can beat Michigan, they can beat Ohio State, and they can be maybe the Big Ten champion. So, I mean, I think it has to be Penn State. If you're a Penn State fan, I think you're feeling really, really good right now. Penn State's up.
Bloodman, who's up?
I want to ask all of you right now to name a quarterback.
Carson Beck.
Jalen Milroe.
Connor Wigman.
Okay, well, that last one kind of ruined it. Quarterback play is up.
Name a real quarterback, Kayce.
I don't want to. Dylan Gabriel.
Quarterback play is up. There was a lot of a lot of people saying, like, hey, I don't know about quarterbacks this year. There's not really a guy, blah, blah, blah. Quarterback play is tremendous this year. The guys you named, Miller, Moss, Garrett Nussmeier, Devin Dampier at New Mexico, Fafita, Shador, like Cam Ward, Jackson Arnold, Dylan Raiola, Taylon Green. There are Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewert, like Arch Manning. There are so many sick, Brady Cook. There's so many sick quarterbacks in the sport. It's going to be a great year. Great year.
Sorry, I ruined it. I still have Connor Wigman on my brain, but we talked about
Nico.
The superstar power is like, I mean, again, maybe it's an overreaction. Week 0 and week 1, the superstar power of quarterbacks is out the fucking roof already.
Incredible.
So my who's up, it's got to be for me, and I was prepared to say Notre Dame. I was prepared to say Penn State as well because both of those are correct. I'll say one that has not been said, and I guess it's kind of dovetails with who's down, but it's Miami. It's Miami. They've been told these things before. They've been told that they're back. They've been told, Alex Van Dyke and then De'Aaron King a couple of years ago. Tyler Van Dyke, excuse me. They've been told De'Aaron King. They've been told many times, this is the guy, this is the guy, this is the guy. And now for the first time in a while, Cam Ward walked in there and looked like the guy in a hostile environment. They got guys all around him. They look loaded. Not only, and it's more so the hype around them seems right, but it's a combination of the hype around them and immediately Florida State and Florida are both bad. That's their rivals. And the ACC is bad. Clemson looked bad. Virginia Tech looked bad. NC State looked bad. Everybody in the ACC other than Miami and Louisville looked pretty average. So if you're Miami and you're now up again and you got the guy and you look around and our neighbors suck and everybody we got to play sucks and our schedule looks pretty manageable, wow. What a good time it is to be a Miami fan. Like, they're up as much as they can be. Now, it's only 1 week. I don't know if they'll be up in week 4 or week 5, but they're up right now.
So you're not ready to say the U is back?
I'm ready to say they look like the class of the ACC. Now, it's only one game in, so they look like it now. Doesn't mean they are it, but they look like it so far.
Did you see the Miami players apparently trying to like snipe the Florida recruits?
I love videos like that.
I do too.
It's the best.
I remember LSU doing it to Alabama in like 2019 when they won Tuscaloosa, and they were doing it, and I just love players having the awareness to do that. I'm sure it doesn't matter at all, but I do love it. Have we got one more we got to talk about?
We do, because you know what else is just always good, Brandon?
Pork rinds.
Pork rinds. I know you love your pork rinds. The Southern recipe, small batch pork rinds. Liam, if you're watching, he has the Crunch Time banner. Again, I said this on Saturday night during our reaction episode, which, by the way, was a lot of fun. A lot of people loved it. I ate an entire bag of the spicy dill during the A&M Notre Dame game, and I don't even feel bad about it because they have no carbs. They have a ton of protein. They're phenomenal. They just have that crunch that just gives you that satisfying feeling when you're eating them, and they're super, super delicious too. So it's not even just like a boring snack. They've got all the flavors, the hot honey, the salt and pepper, like we said, the spicy dill, on and on and on. We love them so much. They're our friends for the rest of the season. So crunch on some Southern recipe pork rinds and find your Crunch Time. The Crunch Time Hero at porkrinds.com. And every week, I believe they're going to have a Crunch Time Hero. And Ev, I know you're a Crunch Time Hero because you love your pork rinds.
They're so good, Kayce. I was crushing bags in the Chicago office last week. The salt and pepper, unbelievable. The dill, fantastic.
Yeah, and their whole thing right now is like, don't feel bad about when you're eating because they are so healthy. But it's like also like let's just dethrone the other snacks for games, like for tailgates, whatever. Like you've got your chips and your pretzels, and those are all fine and good. They're not as good as pork rinds. So join Unnecessary Roughness and get your pork rinds. Porkrinds.com.
All right, I think that's a decent stopping point. I think we've hit everything we got to hit. Of course, we got Michigan and Texas this weekend. We got NC State and Tennessee. Not a whole lot. That's the only two ranked on ranked matchups. But
Colorado, Nebraska. There's really not a lot of like super great games.
Yeah.
Arkansas, Oklahoma State has potential if Arkansas's performance the other night was real. So there's others, but
Michigan
anyway,
State, Maryland, like some just conference games. But
South Carolina, Kentucky is a conference game. I don't know if it'll be good, but
South Carolina is
it exists. It exists.
So bad.
USA, Texas State, South Dakota, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. Anybody else got anything?
No. Oh, I was going to ask, are you going to be doing the because list this year?
Yeah, I'll do it, but I usually don't start it till like week 5 or 6.
I do. I think that, and we don't have to do it right this second, but maybe on Thursday or whenever. Like, I think us kind of having like a Heisman watch every week would be fun because I'm going to make a video about it. I don't know how Travis Hunter is not number 1, and I don't give a shit what jersey he wears. I don't care if you're listening. Oh, you love Colorado. That man should be the Heisman Trophy leader right now.
Yeah, the problem is when he misses 3 games due to overuse.
That's fine, but like right now, he played 129 snaps, had 3 touchdowns, over 100 yards, and like was great in coverage. And I know anytime I even open my mouth about Colorado, it's like Travis Hunter should be leading the Heisman. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, the issue is they'll vote for another quarterback.
I terribly have to go to the bathroom.
Ew.
Hey, bye.
I don't know what to tell you, Kayce. I just got to pee.
That's not the way you said it, though.
That's Unnecessary Roughness.